What if I told you that the path to becoming the President of the United States wasn't a straight road paved with luck, talent, or destiny? That for one of the most iconic leaders of our time, every step was met with doubt, obstacles, and a system ready to resist change. Barack Obama's story is often celebrated as the triumph of hope. But behind the applause, behind the historic headlines, lies a journey filled with struggles that could have crushed anyone else. Struggles that shaped him, tested him, and taught lessons far beyond politics. Lessons about resilience, identity, and the courage to carve your own path. Barack Obama's story begins not in the halls of power, but in the quiet complexity of an unconventional life. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii in 1961, he was the son of a Kenyan father and a white American mother. From the start, he lived at the intersection of different worlds. How do you define yourself when you belong to multiple cultures, yet feel fully accepted by none? His father returned to Kenya, leaving young Barack with the lessons of ambition and intellect, but also with absence. His mother, Ann Dunham, nurtured curiosity and empathy, showing him that understanding people is as powerful as winning arguments. But growing up across continents, Hawaii, Indonesia, and back to the U.S., he faced isolation, identity questions, and cultural displacement. These weren't just childhood struggles, they were the foundation for a leader who could connect across divides. In high school, Obama wrestled with the typical trials of adolescence, experimenting with drugs, searching for belonging, and testing boundaries. Some might call this a detour, but he later reflected on it as a crucial moment of self-discovery, a chance to confront his choices and develop accountability. A lesson we all can learn. Early mistakes don't define you. How you respond does. Then came his college years. From Occidental College to Columbia University, he dove into political science and international relations, confronting the weight of questions about society, justice, and inequality. Yet he faced another challenge: ambition without direction. Many graduates chase lucrative careers. He chose a path less traveled: community organizing in Chicago's toughest neighborhoods. Imagine walking into communities where poverty, violence, and systemic neglect are daily realities. Obama faced skepticism from residents, bureaucrats who ignored him, and the emotional toll of witnessing suffering he couldn't immediately fix. It was exhausting, but it was also transformative. He learned empathy, negotiation, patience, and the power of listening. Skills far more valuable than any degree or title. Lesson number 1. Real leadership starts with understanding, not commanding. His next challenge was Harvard Law School. Here, he wasn't just studying law, he was proving himself in an environment dominated by privilege and legacy. He became the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review, a milestone that could have intimidated anyone. But Obama turned it into a springboard, showing that excellence, paired with humility and perseverance, can break barriers. Returning to Chicago, he worked as a civil rights attorney and taught constitutional law. He wasn't chasing fame or fortune. He was building credibility, experience, and a deep understanding of the challenges ordinary Americans face. Then came his first step into electoral politics, running for the Illinois State Senate in 1996. Here, the stakes were immediate. He was young, relatively unknown, and faced entrenched political networks. How do you convince voters to trust someone with a name they can barely pronounce, a story they don't fully understand? Obama's answer was authenticity, dedication, and relentless groundwork. He listened more than he spoke, built coalitions, and earned credibility one meeting, one conversation, one speech at a time. Lesson number 2. Credibility isn't given. It's earned through consistent action. In the state Senate, he passed ethics reforms and worked to expand healthcare access for low-income families.
Every success was a lesson in strategy, patience, and the slow grind of real change. Every setback was a test of resilience. And with each step, Obama was preparing for the impossible leap ahead: national politics. So what can we learn from this first chapter of Obama's life? That struggles are not detours, they're training grounds. That understanding others is the foundation of leadership. That resilience and patience matter more than immediate recognition. And above all, that forging your own path often means standing alone before you can lead others. Imagine being a relatively unknown state senator with a compelling message but little name recognition. Imagine the weight of expectation, skepticism from seasoned politicians, and the pressure of making every decision count. This is where Barack Obama's journey became a true test of strategy, resilience, and vision. By 2002, Obama was already making waves in Illinois politics, yet running for the U.S. Senate seemed audacious, almost reckless. He faced better-funded, more established opponents. Many whispered, he's too young, too inexperienced, too unconventional. The challenge wasn't just winning votes. It was proving he belonged on the national stage. Fundraising was grueling. Traditional donors hesitated, unsure if a young African-American senator with a unique name could capture broad appeal. But Obama saw opportunity where others saw risk. He tapped into small-dollar donations and grassroots support, pioneering a model that would redefine political fundraising. Lesson number 1. Innovation often arises when traditional paths are blocked. Then came unexpected twists. Republican frontrunner Jack Ryan withdrew amid scandal, and Obama's final opponent became Alan Keyes, a conservative African-American commentator. Facing a black opponent introduced a subtle yet profound challenge. He couldn't rely on identity politics alone. He had to articulate a vision that transcended race, connecting with voters on shared values. He did it through calm, clear communication, empathy, and an insistence on unity over division. And then came the moment that changed everything: the 2004 Democratic National Convention. Barack Obama, once an obscure senator, delivered the keynote address, "The Audacity of Hope," he called it, a speech that spoke to the nation's deepest aspirations. But behind that perfect delivery were countless hours of preparation, self-doubt, and fear of public failure. Every word had to resonate across regional, racial, and ideological divides. He faced the challenge head-on, transforming anxiety into authenticity and capturing the imagination of millions. Lesson number 2. Courage is acting despite fear, not absence of fear. With national attention came new hurdles. Suddenly, every aspect of his life was scrutinized: past associations, his middle name, even unproven rumors questioning his birth. These personal and political attacks could have derailed any campaign. Yet Obama responded strategically, addressing controversies with honesty and nuance. The lesson here is how you respond to attacks defines your credibility and character more than the attacks themselves. The primary battle against Hillary Clinton was grueling, a 17-month marathon of debate, travel, and relentless campaigning. He faced the dual challenge of proving his competence and inspiring belief in something unprecedented: a black candidate with a message of hope winning a national race. His team innovated, using technology and grassroots energy to mobilize volunteers and small donors, creating a movement fueled by participation, not just money. Then came the general election against John McCain, a seasoned senator and war hero. This wasn't just a political contest. It was history in the making. America's economy was in crisis. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were ongoing, and expectations were astronomical. Could a relatively young candidate lead a nation in turmoil? Every speech, every debate, every public appearance carried the weight of history itself. Obama's ability to navigate these challenges wasn't accidental. It stemmed from lessons learned during his early life, community organizing, and years of legal and legislative work. He relied on careful preparation, empathy, authenticity, and the willingness to listen as much as he spoke. Every obstacle became a classroom, every setback a teacher, every victory a reminder of the value of perseverance. From these battles, we can take away profound lessons. Innovation often comes from necessity. When traditional systems close doors, new paths appear. Courage and preparation are inseparable. Bravery without strategy risks failure. Strategy without courage risks stagnation. Authenticity builds trust. Voters, or people in any field, respond to genuine, consistent behavior over empty promises. Adversity is the ultimate teacher. Every challenge can strengthen character and sharpen skill if faced head-on. Obama's leap from state politics to the national stage teaches us that ambition alone is not enough. It's the combination of vision, strategy, resilience, and moral clarity that transforms possibility into reality. And perhaps most importantly, it shows that even in the face of overwhelming odds, deliberate action and integrity can create a movement that changes the course of history. Imagine standing at the edge of history. Millions of eyes are on you. Every word, every gesture, every decision is dissected, debated, and amplified. This is the weight Barack Obama carried as he stepped onto the national stage, aiming not just to win an election, but to redefine what was possible for a nation. By 2008, Barack Obama had emerged as a political phenomenon. But with prominence came monumental challenges. He wasn't just campaigning for votes. He was confronting deeply ingrained skepticism, cultural biases, and historic precedents. For many Americans, he represented hope. For others, he embodied fear of change. The struggle wasn't only political, it was profoundly personal and societal. The first challenge was the sheer weight of expectation. African Americans, minorities, and younger generations looked to him as a symbol of progress, proof that barriers could be broken. Yet he had to speak to every voter, bridging divides without alienating anyone. Lesson 1. True leadership requires balancing the needs of the many while honoring the hopes of the few. Then came the financial crisis of 2008, an economic earthquake shaking the nation. Lehman Brothers collapsed, the stock market plummeted, and millions feared for their savings and livelihoods. Suddenly, Obama was expected not just to campaign, but to demonstrate immediate competence in navigating the gravest economic crisis in decades. It was a trial by fire. He responded by articulating a clear, structured plan for recovery grounded in practical policy and empathy. He showed calm and foresight, communicating complex ideas in ways people could grasp. Lesson 2. Crisis reveals character. Preparation and composure turn fear into opportunity. Alongside this came relentless media scrutiny and personal attacks. The birther conspiracy questioned his citizenship. His middle name, Hussein, became a tool for those spreading fear and doubt. Past associations, such as with Reverend Jeremiah Wright, were weaponized to challenge his integrity. These were not mere political squabbles. They were attempts to erode trust and legitimacy. Yet he faced them strategically, acknowledging controversies, addressing uncomfortable truths, and reframing challenges as moments for dialogue. Lesson 3. How you confront attacks shapes your credibility far more than the attacks themselves. Race remained a pervasive, unspoken challenge. While many celebrated his candidacy, underlying biases persisted. Obama's campaign meticulously crafted imagery, language, and messaging to be inclusive, avoiding triggers that might alienate voters. He demonstrated that understanding and navigating identity politics requires empathy, intelligence, and strategic foresight. The logistical challenges of a national campaign were staggering. Coordinating volunteers across 50 states, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, and managing a complex communication machine demanded relentless discipline. His team leveraged technology and grassroots energy like never before, empowering volunteers to act as more than cogs. They became partners in a movement. Lesson 4. Effective leadership is about mobilizing collective effort, not just issuing directives. Election night, November 4, 2008, was the culmination of these trials. His victory was historic, yet it also marked the beginning of new, even greater challenges. Transitioning to the presidency meant inheriting two ongoing wars, a collapsing economy, and a polarized Congress. The expectations were enormous, and the margin for error minuscule. What can we learn from Obama's campaign and transition? Hope is powerful, but it must be grounded in action. Aspirations inspire, but competence convinces. Pressure reveals resilience. Facing scrutiny, criticism, and crisis head-on strengthens leadership. Preparation and adaptability are inseparable. Plans may fail, but adaptability ensures progress continues. Leadership is a dialogue. Listening, empathizing, and connecting with others is as critical as making decisions. Obama's journey through the campaign illustrates a universal truth that success is rarely linear and leadership is forged in adversity. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt became a lesson, a blueprint for navigating obstacles that any individual in any field can apply. Obama's rise was historic, yet it was never easy. Each stage of his journey revealed a truth about leadership. The path to meaningful change is strewn with obstacles, systemic, personal, and societal. His story teaches us three key lessons about leadership, resilience, and societal impact. Lesson 1. The power of narrative and authentic communication. Obama understood that facts alone don't move people, stories do. From his early speeches to his Philadelphia address on race, he demonstrated the power of honest, empathetic storytelling. By sharing personal struggles and connecting them to broader societal challenges, he inspired trust and built bridges across divides. In any field, the ability to communicate authentically, craft a compelling narrative, and connect emotionally can transform influence into impact. It's not just what you do. It's how you tell your story. Lesson 2. Resilience in the face of relentless opposition. From birther conspiracies to legislative gridlock, Obama faced constant attacks. Yet he maintained composure, strategically addressed challenges, and focused on long-term goals rather than short-term victories. Resilience is not passive endurance. It's active adaptation, creative problem-solving, and persistence. True leadership requires the ability to withstand pressure, remain disciplined, and use adversity as a catalyst for growth. Lesson 3. Transformative power of grassroots organizing and innovation. Obama's campaigns revolutionized politics by combining grassroots energy with technological innovation. Volunteers became partners, not followers. Small donations amassed into monumental impact. This bottom-up approach proved that collective effort, amplified strategically, can overcome entrenched power structures. Change is rarely top-down. Mobilizing communities, leveraging technology, and empowering others creates momentum that can surpass even the most resource-heavy opposition. But Obama's legacy is not just inspirational, it's cautionary. His presidency also reveals the fragility of consensus and the dangers of entrenched division. Even a leader as uniting as Obama struggled against deep partisan polarization, disinformation, and systemic barriers. The warning is clear. If someone with his talent and credibility faced these obstacles, what will future leaders confront in an even more fragmented and fast-paced world? Democracy is vulnerable to division, misinformation, and cynicism. Structural and societal challenges will persist, requiring vigilance, courage, and engagement from every citizen. Leadership is not a solitary act. It demands collective effort to sustain progress. Obama's journey is a mirror reflecting our world today. His story challenges us to ask, how do we confront misinformation? How do we bridge divides? How do we empower future leaders? The work of building a more perfect union is unfinished. It is ongoing, demanding attention, empathy, and action from all of us.
Life lessons from Obama. 1. Face challenges strategically. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise. 2. Communicate authentically. Stories inspire action far more than facts alone. 3. Persist with resilience. Adversity is inevitable. Your response defines your path. 4. Mobilize communities. Collective action can overcome systemic barriers. 5. Bridge divides. Leadership requires empathy, patience, and dialogue. Barack Obama's rise shows us that extraordinary achievement is possible, but it is never easy. It requires courage, strategy, empathy, and unrelenting perseverance. His story is not just history. It is a blueprint, a lesson, and a call to action for anyone seeking to make a difference in a world full of challenges and opportunities. As you reflect on this journey, ask yourself, what will you do to continue the work, to face adversity, and to build a future shaped by hope, resilience, and purpose?